It's basically a plan of a complete genocide right now, what they're doing after abrogation of Article 370, 35A, in simple words, that we have become refugees on our own land, in our own nation, on our own soil. So we have become the beggars, and the occupiers are not just there with their army, but their public is also coming there to take away our homes, take away all our rights, economic rights, our religious freedom, everything, our existence has become almost extinct. So this is the time when we are on a ventilator as a nation. It's a genocide for the past 6 months, starving to death, medicine shortages. There's absolutely no contact with the world right now, blanket ban on communications. And this is an urgent time to declare a policy on Kashmir on emergency basis from Pakistan for at least minimum 5 to 10 years on campaigning and internationalizing it.
When we were planning for the event, we thought who should come and chair the event. Should it be some VVIP? But then in the end, we decided the event should be chaired and presided by the people, the citizens of the occupied Kashmir, because it is they who have to have the final say in this, and they are always left out on all the forums, so they should chair the event. The event was organized by Management and Professional Development Department, MPDD of Punjab, and Urban Unit, and Lahore Center for Peace Research jointly. The objective was to get the former diplomats, such as our former foreign secretaries, foreign ministers, ambassadors who have worked in India, to get prominent international jurists, lawyers, judges, and to get scholars and TV anchors who cover Kashmir, and also get Kashmiri leaders who can give us first-hand information about what's happening in Kashmir. And the objective was to get all of them together and come up with suggestions on what could be done. So for example, the international lawyers and jurists gave us legal suggestions on what we can do to highlight the Kashmir cause at the United Nations level. The proceedings and their ideas are being jotted down in a report, and they'll be available.
This is not the first time. Actually, we have been celebrating Kashmir Solidarity Day since 1991, I think. So it is now more than 30 years. And the reason is that Pakistani people have to express their solidarity, their support to the people who are struggling for their liberation, for their freedom from Indian occupation. So this is a symbolic sort of gesture that the nation, Pakistani nation, has to demonstrate in support of the Kashmiri. This 5th August 2019 steps, India's illegal and unilateral steps, were not there. So this is, the situation is totally new, and it has changed the whole scenario, whole perspective. The situation before August 5, 2019 was a situation of Indian occupation with a cover of Article 370. In fact, that was also a clever move when this article was introduced 70 years ago. It was basically to conceal the Indian aggression. So with the 5th August steps, Indian government has unveiled the Indian aggression. So it is now clearer for the world community to see that India is occupying the state of Kashmir against the wishes of the Kashmiri people. Prime Minister Imran Khan's General Assembly speech served a lot by generating awareness of the grotesque activities that the Modi regime is perpetrating against the people of Kashmir. Now, the speakers in this conference have also highlighted how nearly 10 million people, Kashmiris, have been captivated by more than about a million Indian military troops. And they are virtually living in a jail, and they have no freedom, no liberty, no access to internet, no international communications available to them. So this is a situation which is basically a reminder to the world community that they should open their eyes and they should open their conscience and do something to stop these Indian activities. And let's hope that because of all these pressures that Imran Khan's efforts are bringing about, hopefully the international community will exert some pressure on the Indian government to roll back its illegal steps in occupied Kashmir.
As far as the United Nations is concerned, it has certain constraints, particularly UN system is encumbered by the veto system of the 5 permanent members. But that doesn't mean that the international community has no conscience. Pakistan has the option of approaching various parliaments, various human rights bodies in those parliaments, and also independent human rights bodies in Western countries, liberal democracies, North America and Europe. Absolutely, there is no doubt about it. And Pakistan has made efforts, and you have seen the results of those now reflected in the Western media. Because now hardly a day passes when Indian government and Narendra Modi doesn't come in for a bashing almost on a daily basis.
This is terrible abuse of human rights and violation. But the world conscience has not become aware of it yet because we have not been able to convey the plight of the Kashmiris at international forums because we haven't used the appropriate language. And for that I feel it is essential that we use all the international languages which are generally in vogue, that is to say Russian, Chinese, English and French at least, and then convey to every country and to the sentiments and the hearts of the people. People all over the world are not heartless. They would realize what's going on if we were able to convey it properly. And that is, I think, our foremost duty, because Kashmiris are part of us and we are part of them. And we have to guarantee to them the right of self-expression, the right of survival, and the right to be free from terror. And I think they are being so courageous and so steadfast that it is amazing the way that they have been able to, over these 6 months and over this passage of several years, it's decades now that they have been subjected to all kinds of violence, but they have survived and they have managed.